Oh, my darling, I dun, 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 can't get enough of silver, baby. Dun, dun. Yeah, I don't know why. I can't get enough of silver, baby. Oh, well, babe. Oh, some things I can't get used to, no matter how I try. Oh, well, girl. Just like the more I get, the more I want. And baby, that's no lie. Oh, yeah. Darling, I can't get enough of silver, baby. Oh, no, babe. Well, I don't know why. I can't get enough of silver, baby. Oh, well, babe. And guys, I don't know if you can get enough of silver. I cannot get enough of silver. I bought some a couple days ago, and I'm sitting there going, the price is smashed down now. I'm trying to figure out how I can get some more this weekend. I hope to keep the smash going through the weekend so I can get together some money and maybe buy some fractionals because I've been kind of light on fractionals lately. Got plenty of 1 ounces, as you guys can see here. Good morning, fellow billionaires. Silver 5150 with your morning update for Thursday, July 30th, 2020. Not that it needs any introduction, but that was my rendition of Barry White's Can't Get Enough of Your Love, saying, I can't get enough of silver. And I can't. I can't get enough silver. I can't get enough silver, and I can't get enough of it. All right? But anyway, may God rest Big Barry's soul. You know, the guy, he put out so many hits, and he did a lot of stuff before he even went solo. He had girl groups he was producing. He was producing in the studio, writing a lot of songs and stuff, a lot of hit songs. And then, of course, he went solo after joining a couple of groups back in the 60s into the 70s, and then got really big in the 70s and 80s and stuff. And so, yeah, he like a lot of big songs he wrote and stuff, like My Everything, Never Gonna Give You Up, Your Sweetness Is My Weakness. And you ladies know how that goes. You know, your sweetness is my weakness because we fall for that, boy. Guys, they fall for that. You guys can just kind of like, sound real sweet and say real sweet things and bat your eyes and stuff and be like, okay. That's how the guys doing stuff. We got some cool guys here, by the way. Got some cool guys here. We're going to talk about them in a minute. But yeah, so, it seems like I was like, every time I come on the show, I'm like, yeah, man, that was so and so, this great artist, this great artist. May God rest his or her soul. Been saying that a lot lately, you know? And I guess what it means is we've had a lot of great musical artists that have come and gone here in the modern era. Prince, Michael Jackson, David Bowie, right? Glenn Frey, we just did a song by him the other day. Eddie Money, B.B. King. I mean, the list goes on and on. It's like in the last 5 years, we've had all these people from the A-list of music entertainers just kind of leave us and stuff. Here's these Supermans I was talking about. I don't know if you guys had seen those before. I've got a couple of videos with the Supermans out, but yeah, they always kind of fit in, with this theme and stuff. But anyway, so yeah, as far as these A-list musical stars, I don't know if it's lifestyle or the law of averages. Things have changed a lot for everybody, especially with this bug going on. And, a lot of the stars and stuff have to stay home and do things from the indoor studios and all this stuff. But anyway, so yeah, Big Barry, he did a lot of great things in the music world. And I'm sure they're enjoying it up there in heaven. All right, enough about entertainment and on to the coins. Okay, so now we have some coins here, you guys. Of course, you're familiar with a lot of these. And these are just some fun coins. These coins are coins I like to give out to kids, especially at the movie theaters. When I see them, and they're all dressed up in their, costumes and stuff. They're going to see Deadpool. They're going to see Black Panther, right? Maybe Avengers, maybe Superman's. And, I see a kid at the Superman movie, he's got his costume on and everything like that. Or, he's dressed like Clark Kent and stuff. And, he's got his popcorn bucket with, the Justice League on it. And I see him and I was like, hey, man, you like the Justice League? It's like, yeah, Justice League. He's 4 or 5 years old. His parents are with him. And I was like, well, here, check this out. Here's an official Justice League coin. Here's an official Superman coin. And their eyes light up, man. And the parents are like, whoa, what is that? And you can see that it kind of garners all the attention, especially one of these. And see, these right here, these Supermans, these are made by the Royal Canadian Mint. And it came out in 2016. And if you guys know, in 2014, that was the year that the Royal Canadian Mint started doing this really fine etching that has like a kind of a outward burst spiral formation, and it creates these light reflection lines. This is a security feature actually for Royal Canadian Mint coins, and of course they just took a maple leaf and they put a Superman symbol there instead. These were made for 2016 only. So they're about 4 years old, and the mintage was 1 million when they made them. And I think I got like 0.01% of those or something. I ended up getting like 100 and something like that because, I like to get those even numbers. And I was able to get these at a great deal back in 2018 from Provident. They had them for $16.70. Oh, sorry, I'm sorry, $17.60. I got them back, and I bought them in bulk. When the price was good like that. And it's just one of those deals, man. There are people that bought silver coins for $4, $8 over the years, $11, and I caught them at a low of about $16 when the spot price was in the 14s, and the premiums weren't too bad. So I got these stacked up here because if I tried to spread them all out, it would probably cover, most of this desk here. So I just got them, and it actually, a little bit of a Superman formation. Okay. I mean, it's not really, perfect or anything like that, but it's just enough for us to get what we got to get done today. All right. So I get a lot of grief from people about, sharing these coins with kids and stuff. The Black Panthers, I had so many more. I looked and I got like 15 left, and I'm like, oh man, I think I gave too many away. But, in retrospect, I don't really quibble over it and stuff. If I was supposed to hoard them and keep them, God would have seen fit to that. But, I felt moved to give them away to the kids, and so it worked out like that. All right, moving right along. Now, you guys, surely you know that I complain about manipulation a lot. We're going to talk about markets today. We're going to talk about market psychology and market psychosis, and that's on the manipulator side. And a lot of techniques you can use to try to read, or things that I do to try to read the markets, so I can get better silver prices. I don't know if it works or not, but it's what I like doing. It makes me feel better to try and take advantage of the market. I'm sorry. So yeah, I complain about banker manipulation a lot, and I mean bullion bankers, COMEX. They're all bankers. The U.S. Treasury and the Federal Reserve and whatever kind of international central banks around the globe. They're all part and parcel of it. The London Bullion Market Association, they're part of it too. LBMA, they're part of it. But I believe in truth, the price of silver, that is still low. By the way, we're getting a great pullback today. The price of silver is still low. I believe that God has actually kept the price down for us after He's opened our eyes and opened our ears to see and hear, what is right in front of us, the greatest value of all. He has kept the price down for us so we can gather this great asset and become the true custodians of His money. Okay? It's like I had said in one of my earlier shows, let the bankers and the powers that be throw their gold and silver into the streets, like it says in the Bible, which we'll gladly collect for next to nothing from them. They're giving it to us. They're throwing their gold and silver out in the streets for, next to nothing versus what its real value is. And we're glad to take it off their hands. We will be those people that are looking for that financial freedom. So there's really no theme today, except what I was telling you. Pretty much you have to be superhuman. You have to be Superman or the Black Panther or even Deadpool to try to figure out a lot of the market action today to front run silver prices and gold prices too. But reading all the different indexes and stuff, you just gotta see what you can get from them. For about 15 years now, I've been in and out of various asset classes, and each one I tried to learn a little something from them, tried to glean something from them, and gain the ability to interpret those markets, the movement of those markets, the psychology behind them. And now, years later, after figuring out, that by far the best asset class is silver, absolutely the best asset class is silver, I try to use these techniques to loosely, and I mean loosely, predict the direction of the silver price. As you guys know, I've made like 3 or 4 wrong predictions here in the last couple of weeks. I haven't been off too bad, but this long-term smackdown, which I'm actually enjoying. At first, I was kind of bummed out because I was like, yeah, man, we're on our way. And of course, I was talking about early retirement and all that stuff. But man, it's actually looks like it's going to work out. For a lot of people that thought they had missed a train and the rocket was taking off. Okay, the engines are warmed up and, it's making a lot of noise, but it hasn't left the platform yet. Not like it's going to. Trust me, when it really takes off and when the banks really fail and, systems really fail, which we're hoping it'll be a graduation and not something that happens all of a sudden, it's going to take off. And like I said, we're only 5% into this move. If you guys don't understand what that means, another 95% growth, or it'd be 9.5 times growth in silver right now, which would put us around $200 an ounce. And then who knows where we go beyond that. Because at that point, the dollar is going to be looking really bad and people are not going to want to use it as much. And so where do we go from there meta inflation into hyperinflation and into a new monetary system, I would think. Okay. So yeah, so all these techniques I've been trying to use to loosely predict the direction of silver, with a little bit of voodoo and white magic. Just kidding, no voodoo and white magic. But I do try to look at market psychology, and I can usually get the silver price right about 11% of the time. 11%, that's it. I know it ain't much, but it's still not too shabby considering how wildly every single asset class, every single asset index is manipulated. All right. Now let's start by talking about the President's Working Group on Financial Markets. This is really a thing. The President's Working Group on Financial Markets here in the United States. I don't know if they have anything like that in the other countries and stuff, but it's known over here affectionately as the Plunge Protection Team. If you read any of the forums, Zero Hedge, where they talk about how the markets are manipulated, these people have been coined the Plunge Protection Team. That's their nickname, the President's Working Group on Financial Markets. Okay. They're an actual task force, a group of people that rotate in and out. It's like an alumni there in Washington, D.C. But they have been given, a certain budget and direct orders through the U.S. Treasury and El Presidente himself to maintain market order and market activity, okay, in the express interest of our national security. That's the motivation behind it. That's the premise behind it. Well, in the interest of national security, we're going to do things to cajole and manipulate the markets to make sure that they don't spin out of control and put us in danger. So just know that's what you're getting into. All right. That's what you're getting into. There is a group of people whose job is to either cool things off or heat things up or hold things up during crisis scenarios. This is all, good and noble, but it's an anathema to what's supposed to be free markets. And look, you can argue that what we're in right now, with the corona and all the other stuff, it is, a crisis. We're in a constant state of crisis, which means they're constantly in business. They're constantly in business to try to manipulate the market. So everything is goosed and juiced and tweaked and spun and contorted to the max in these markets. And those is designed to create an air of fairness amongst, regular people. Usually the only ones that make out really well are those who are already very wealthy. All right. These very wealthy people, and by those I mean, those I'm talking about that are very wealthy, these people can afford to hire trading teams that can actually do a lot of their, trading for them, handle the volatility for them, but we, the retail investors, we don't really have that. We don't have access to that because it takes a lot of money to do that. All we have really is the trading platforms or information we can glean from the web or financial news networks telling us what they think. But this is another reason why I only deal in physical silver. It's really all I can handle because dealing in physical silver removes the requirements of being an expert in all these different dynamics, reading all these tea leaves and trying to figure out what they're going to do and taking the news stories and the headlines and trying to, front run and see what that's going to mean. Sorry. For the rest of the world. And if you guys haven't been following, somebody had enlightened me yesterday to a huge problem they're having over in China right now with, I guess it's the world's largest dam on the Yangtze River, and it's got access to about 400 million people in China that live along that river basin. And it looks like from pictures and satellites from outer space, this thing is due to fail in like the next 2 weeks if the Chinese don't do anything about it. And the Chinese, of course, are denying it. They're a closed society, and anytime there's a big crisis, be it nuclear, be it natural disaster, or be it, medical, yeah, they are quick to deny. So we'll see how that's going to play out, and if there's really something to it. Because if we do get an issue like that with, say the world's largest dam, breaking down and bursting and then taking out a bunch of people over there, that's a crisis on top of the current crisis environment we're in that we can't handle. And of course, precious metals will react to that. Now, I'm not saying I want to benefit from something like that, but that could very much, be a reality, for us here in the next month. So just something to try to, again, front run and read and see, how you need to position yourself as a result. All right. Another reason I deal in physical silver only is because it removes the requirements of being an expert in all these different things I'm talking about, or the need, to have those aforementioned high, speed resources. Talking about the high algorithmic computers and all the stuff you need to calculate and keep yourself in and out of the markets and make profits if you're going to do that. But before we go any further, let's talk about the markets today. And I gotta tell you, the dollar is really, really throwing elbows. I'm impressed. I'm impressed. Now it's still stuck at a 93 handle, but it's putting enough pressure on the euro and the assets that are valued in dollars to pretty much have everything smacked down. Everything smacked down. Bonds are down. The pre-markets for the stock indexes are down, and I think the Nasdaq, the Dow, the Russell 2K, and the S&P 500 are all tracking down about 1% in pre-market trading. All right. Now there's supposed to be some good news come out today from the big tech stocks, but I'm telling you, the dollar's not having any of it. So of course, what else is down? Precious metals. But this is good for us. Precious metals is down right now. I think last check, I think gold was down probably about $8 to the 1951 level, which is still very good, and still on track for that mystical, magical 2000 level that hopefully we'll hit next month. And then, silver is down quite a bit, about 80 cents to about $23.40 spot, which, is reasonable, given what we've seen here lately. A couple of days ago, we were up to $26. So a $3 pullback, in essence, is very good for us. All right. So, but it makes sense. The dollar's up today. It's trying to fight back today. The euro's down as a result, and everything else valued in dollars is going to be down today if the dollar can keep up its momentum and try to get back to a 94 handle from the 93 it is right now. All right. So speaking of gold and silver, we'll start with gold. Gold, it just, it actually refuses to back down. It looks like it's taking a hit, but it's hanging in there really good, and it's doing exactly what Florida Stacker said, and it is maintaining its value, maintaining its dollar value, despite all of the contortions that are going on. Gold is the big, quiet, stoic, foundational metal in the corner, just kind of holding everything up, its foundation, while silver is a much smaller market and reacts more volatile to what's going on. So, that's okay. That's okay. So anyway, everything that's happening in the background with silver, especially, you got to understand there's still massive manipulation going on. Still massive manipulation going on in the background. Now, in the last few days, if you can look at the COMEX indexes, you would notice that the commercial banks, there's like only about 4 or 5 commercial banks that do trading for the COMEX. These guys, they've been throwing around and passing around, trading and swapping out billions of ounces in the last week or so. Well over 1 billion ounces a day, for example. Well over 1 billion paper ounces a day, paper silver, being traded back and forth between these same banks, and they're simply trying to keep the price from running away. All right. Now they got lucky today, right now. They got lucky here. They figured out an angle to get the prices down. We might even get into the 22s today. Who knows? But these are not physical ounces we're talking about. These are physical ounces. The stuff they're trading is not physical ounces. It's just paper ounces, just like what you see on the debt clock. Okay, you look on a debt clock and you see the paper to silver ratio. It's just that it's an amazing amount of paper volume that has to be created to control what is essentially just a $24 billion market. 1 billion ounces of above ground silver available at any time at $24 spot, $23 spot. And we've gone through scenarios where we've calculated the value of physical silver without COMEX paper trading and have determined currently that the paper to silver ratio is probably something more in order of 11,000 paper ounces to every 1 physical ounce. Seriously? That's crazy. Now I can stop right there with that stat alone, because what that means is, at the very least, an ounce of silver out of the COMEX, out of their vaults, has been rehypothecated 1,000 times, 10,000 times to each customer that thinks they're going to have access to it. But a lot of people don't take delivery of physical silver. More are now, which is why the COMEX is under pressure. But a lot of people, especially over in India and China, they're still trading, the paper stuff, trying to make more cash. All right. But anyway, despite all that, there's one thing we can be certain of, one thing we certainly can be sure of, and that is that the COMEX paper trading platform, the paper trading system, is also on its last leg, just like the credit system we talked about a couple days ago. Now, you see a pattern here? Where we basically just, all this week, we just talked about a series of weakened systems that are designed to be the framework of the global financial system, whether it be stocks, bonds, real estate, businesses, the credit system, or the currency markets, which are on fire right now. All these things are headed to their final valuation of zero. Now, I don't know how long it's going to take, and I don't want to sound like a doomsayer or anything, but in an ideal world, everything wouldn't come crashing down at once, and having all that energy piled in the silver. And it would make us wealthy beyond our dreams, but that's where you end up having a lot of trouble if everything happens all at once. Everything comes crashing down all at once, be it natural disasters, be it a financial system failing, be it, this pandemic taking off and really, placing some big numbers. You don't want that. What we want, or what I want, anyway, I'm not going to speak for you guys, but I'm pretty sure that we're, of the same mind. We don't want there to be so much, tragic discourse and financial discourse that it creates a global anger wave or anger phase where so many people get wiped out so quickly that it basically returns us to the dark ages. Don't want that. We don't want that. We want a smooth transition, one that gradually gets us to the next financial paradigm, the real financial foundation that we're going to have that's based on sound money. So, let's have things happen gradually if they're going to break down. If they're going to be fixed, good luck. But if they're going to break down, I want to have it happen in a way that we can absorb the punches, so to speak. Now, one of the best things about someone understanding the modern market dynamics is that you can see that there's only going to be one starting point into the new system. There's only one place things can start from, all right? And it really can't be anything else. Talking about gold and silver. What are you going to use? Diamonds, oil, real estate, technology? I don't think so. All these things are reliant on a substantial amount of paper market manipulation to remain financially solvent in this modern era. This is just how the financial system is set up. With diamonds, yeah, they're beautiful, but nobody knows for sure what their level of abundance is. We're told they're rare. We're told diamonds are rare. And we're told they're precious to give to those who are precious to us. But what is the real value of diamonds? Well, we do know that diamonds are the hardest known substance in the natural world. And that right there is enough to justify them as precious. But rare. Really? $10,000 for a single Leo quality 1 carat diamond? Don't know about that. I really don't know about that. And when it comes to oil, I think we can safely agree that the current financial framework to support oil, its harvesting, its development and uses, is likely going to succumb over time to, newer, cleaner technologies. That's just the future. It's going to be happening. It's going to be happening, which, makes oil unsuitable to continue as money. And I'm just making a slight when I say oil is money, making a slight to what's called the petrodollar, which is something that was incepted back in the 70s by Henry Kissinger to make sure that the dollar remains solvent, through, working with OPEC and some of the Emirates over there. We'll get into that. That's for another time. Which brings us to technologies, talking about what else you could use, as a foundational base for a monetary system later on. Almost every week, we're wowed with the latest whiz-bang offering in gaming systems, computing, communications, smartphones, all right, and transportation. Whatever is new in transportation. Like I saw the other day a driverless car on the freeway, and it didn't even really say much, about being a test bed and stuff, but it was there, and there was nobody driving it, and it had a bunch of antenna and, gadgets and stuff inside. This is the wave of the future, all right? But when you think about it, all these things I just talked about, the offerings I just mentioned, they're either directly or indirectly reliant on gold and silver, but to a greater extent, silver. All right, just hear me out. Now, I sound like I'm a little bit off the reservation, but follow me on this. Diamonds, for example, they're indeed beautiful. Of this, there is no doubt. But how do you represent them? What do you use to display them, or what do you mount them in? In cloth, rubber, leather? Because of the diamond's luster, they need to be mounted in something that can compete with their beauty. And of course, that would be what? Gold or silver. Right, Deadpool? Gold or silver is normally used to, display these beautiful minerals, okay? And so, I'll even go one step further and say that platinum is also an excellent medium to display, precious gems, diamonds in particular. All right. Now, while oil is the most indirectly correlated to precious metals, it still requires equipment that's reliant on electronic systems, laced with wiring harnesses and switches that control the equipment for drilling and harvesting, okay, and getting the oil. So that connection does exist, right? But technology, now we can go all day with technology as to why silver is absolutely vital to all facets of technological development, mostly through support of support of electronic systems, not economic systems. It does that too. But silver support of electronic systems is fundamental. Okay. There's, then there's also medical equipment, medical ointments, antibacterial and antiseptic treatments, all these things that silver is starting to become involved in or have been involved in. These are the things I've just thrown into the mix, the medical stuff, to drive home the case that despite all of the market psychosis and manipulations and all the negative economic forces that are coming to bear on life as we know it, there's only one substance on earth that will survive as medicine, as money, and as a foundational technological material we'll need to move into this new sci-fi age I keep talking about. I keep going on about this new sci-fi age. And if for no other reason than this, you just need to have silver. Simply to wear as monetary armor to transition from this financial world to the next. Silver can be your financial armor to traverse from this financial world to the next. There's going to be a very rough portal to go through. There's going to be that eye of the needle that everybody's going to try to pile through. If you don't have the silver armor, you're going to get eaten alive, and you won't really have much of yourself left on the other side, financially speaking. All right? So it just basically goes back to what I've been saying all this time, in every video, in one form or another. Just buy silver as much as you can. If you like gold, buy gold. But I'm just saying, value to value, silver is the champion when it comes to the precious metals. You just can't beat it. It has a lot more potential. It has a lower price point, so it has, a longer way to run in terms of returns and returns in terms of its actual value. It's actually physically rarer than gold above ground because, it gets used up. Unlike gold, which gets, hoarded and stored and cherished, in some cases, polished and displayed, right? So yeah, just buy silver as much as you can when you can. Today is a good day for it. This weekend should be a good day for it. I don't think we're going to get any kind of jump. Tomorrow, it looks like they figured out a way to get a lid on what's going on with the silver price, and so they're going to hold us in this consolidation area. I'm going to say from $22.50 to $25 for a bit until we get into the fourth quarter, I believe. Right now, in the third quarter, once the fourth quarter comes out and more bad numbers come out, we'll see silver and gold jump and respond to that, or maybe a crisis between now and then. Who knows? All right. So, do this. Buy the physical silver when you can find it, at a good price, when you have the money to do it. And then, when things get really crappy, which they're going to, sorry to say, we can get together. We can get together and we can figure out how to parlay this newfound wealth. Again, I spend time talking to some of the other stackers out there. And it's turning out that our demographic, our group, the stacking community, we are probably the single biggest demographic that are holders of silver. Not precious metals. The gold and stuff is held by the big boys, but the silver, I think we actually are the biggest demographic holding silver right now. Think about that. And we're growing, by the way. Anyway, okay, we parlay our newfound wealth, this magical metal silver, right? And we work it into our prosperity. We figure out how to integrate it into our new lives, our fresh starts. We're going to be making fresh starts. We'll trade with each other. We'll exchange with each other. We'll start up businesses together. All right? It's going to happen. Especially once things loosen up and we can be freer to do things again. And for those who are of the mind to, we'll actually create new opportunities and build a better world together. I know I'm always Pollyanna and stuff, but I feel like I'm enough of a visionary to see the potential that's waiting for us right here with precious metals, particularly silver. So I really hope this all made sense, guys. I'm getting ready to go to work here. I got to tell you, I'm hitting a wall. Between the two jobs and between doing this and stuff, I am going to be taking some time off here. The first half of August, I am going to be out. You may see me on the comment boards, you may not. But I'm going to be out trying to do some things with the channel, trying to get settled into my home, and then trying to reconfigure, how I'm working my work schedule so I can be a little better at what I'm doing. Because these aren't the best quality videos out there. I'm actually going to work on, upgrading the quality a little bit, but that does not mean monetization. I'm not going to monetize anything. The giveaways are still going to be on. I'm going to be watching the subs and stuff. So that's not going to change, but I just need to change the way I'm doing things so I'll have more energy and the ability to produce a better content. All right? So, as always, thank you guys for listening. I'm Silver5150 telling you that your stack is not whack and that just 10 ounces to your name keeps you 99% ahead of the game. Please like, share, subscribe, and comment, as always, and stay tuned for our upcoming giveaways. Now, tomorrow I'm going to attempt to rejoin, have us catch up with the secret silver stacking society. I never get that right, to see how they all ended up after they got into their latest jam up there in the Arctic, all right? Not everyone is in the society, just some of the characters there. There'll be members that'll get into other, adventures down the road, but just these the current crop of guys that were in the last story, if you guys hadn't caught that. and we'll continue to build the stories as they go along. Just, to have a little departure from what we normally do. So have a great day, guys. Okay? Go out and get some silver today. All right? And let's continue preparing for what's coming. All kinds of crazy stuff coming down the road. All right? So let's just continue preparing for what's coming. Stack some silver, take advantage of the deals, post whatever you find on the comments so people can take advantage of the deals too. All right? And we'll continue preparing. Silver 5150 out. Have a great day.